A political activist on Rumble is beefing with a Rainbow Six streamer. Now, who are these people? First things first, you gotta know who Jynxi is. Jynxi is this guy. He's known for making funny Rainbow Six Siege content, and he actually averages like 90,000 concurrents on Twitch. Absolutely insane. Probably one of the biggest streamers of all time. And he recently started a podcast. This is called the Jynxi Podcast. It has 310,000 subscribers and only 2 videos. It's actually absurd how fast this stuff has grown. He had Queso and Moist Critical on, who are both giant streamers in their own right. And he just has that pull to say, hey, come here. And then gets them on his podcast. It's actually absurd. Now, who is Sneako? Sneako is an ex-YouTuber because he got banned. And now he is streaming on Rumble. He used to stream specifically on YouTube and was one of the biggest streamers on the site, realistically. And now the only thing I can really show of you is his Instagram, which this is him and Sean Strickland. If you don't know about Sean Strickland, there's actually a video up here that's going to show you exactly what happened with Sneako and Sean Strickland. So make sure to dislike and go click that video as well. And here is them having beef on the internet. Sneako and Jynxi. And it all started with the Jynxi podcast. The Jynxi podcast had Sneako on. And Sneako went ahead and posted this. This invited Sneako to do a podcast and is afraid to drop it. LMAO. Funny and cute streamer. I feel bad for people without freedom of speech. Now, what is he talking about? And why does it sound like he's talking in the third person? I don't know, but we're going to figure this out. Sneako is very clearly seen sitting with Jynxi in his podcast studio. So I looked around and I found where this clip was from. And the clip is from this right here. Okay, hold up. I clicked the wrong tab again. This right here.
I disagree with probably 90% of the shit you said.
What do you disagree with?
I mean, like, well, I can't just say like, oh, I
See, I hear that all the time, and then people never bring up anything. They say, I disagree with 90%. Like what?
So okay, I'll give you 2 things I disagree with right now.
Okay.
So I remember you were shitting on gaming, that's fucked. And then the second thing you were shitting on was, well, it's not something you like shit on, but kind of. I mean, this is the thing. I don't want to like take you out of context. I don't want to misquote you. Yeah. Because that's fucked up. I hate when people do that to me.
Fair.
But you were kind of saying like, oh, if you're sad, do push-ups. Like that was kind of your thing for a little bit.
That's a great solution.
So that is the worst.
So first things first, it feels like they're having a very nice conversation. The conversation does not feel like one person is in control of the conversation, which is actually a different take entirely, because most of the time what I have seen when Sneako is on a podcast, he takes over the conversation quite frequently. And that's because he has some very strong opinions on very strong things. And that's okay. You can have strong opinions on things. But the issue comes when Sneako says that Jynxi tried to trap him in certain lines of logic to be the hero of the story. And you can see this on Sneako's account, because Sneako likes to post about it a lot. And if we look here, most of the videos that Sneako makes are actually of calling people out and talking about people. But here is the full video of Sneako talking about the Jynxi situation.
He was trying to make me look stupid, and he wasn't being friendly. He wasn't being nice. And he has some attitude about him.
I'd also like you guys to look real quick at the top right as this is going. Look at the absolute vile things that Sneako's chat is saying. I noticed this the first time I watched it through, and I thought it was a good thing for you guys to look at as we are watching this, because it really shows the degeneracy of the people that are in Sneako's chat.
I was even surprised that he invited me on. I would not have invited me on if I was in his position. He's doing well, and he's a sellout. And that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Jynxi's a sellout, and so is pretty much every single streamer, every single other person in the industry. I'm not saying that to come off on a moral high ground. That's genuinely what the case is. They can't admit how many genders there are. They can't even admit that they're unvaccinated, and all the top streamers are. They're never going to talk about that. They're never going to tell their audience how important it is to actually look at what's in there and see that mRNA is DNA therapy. It's
okay. Real quick, I want to say what he's saying about COVID shot. I don't know the validity of it whatsoever. So do take what he's about to say with a grain of salt. Just focus on the Jynxi content. I don't know what he's talking about here.
It's literally changing your DNA. They're not going to talk about that because they don't want to lose sponsorships. So they're sellouts. And you don't need to add a negative connotation to that term. You had all these questions.
First things first, there's obviously a very clear negative connotation to the word sellout. It is a sellout. You are selling your morality in exchange for something in return. That's something that is inherently wrong. Very wrong. And I don't think anyone in their right mind should do that. But I also want to look at how Sneako may have been selling out himself this entire time. You really think that spreading hate and telling people that they should burn in hell
This wholesome attitude about him.
and saying that this guy has something wrong with his medulla,
I was even surprised that he invited me on.
saying that someone is a gamer F slur. Stop dissing people.
I would not have invited me on if I was in his position. He's doing well.
F Jynxi. I mean, it just goes on forever and ever. I even saw some things that said burn in hell, dox him, leak his address, which Sneako could literally do. He could leak Jynxi's address at any point. Jynxi had a lot of balls to have Sneako on the podcast. With that being said, Jynxi hasn't even responded. And at the rate that Jynxi was going, if we can look at his first couple of podcasts, they don't look like they're shot that far apart from each other. Look at his hair. Look at how grown out it is.
They want to just
Look at his hair. Look at how grown out it is. This one was 5 days ago. This one was 13 days ago. They probably come out every week. So why are we talking about a podcast before the next one is even available to drop? It's actually absurd. And the other thing that's crazy is Queso has said things that are not that great. And Moist Critical has said things before that are hot takes. They both are not people that are just entirely smooth. It's not like Jynxi is afraid of these people getting mad at him. No one's afraid of anybody getting mad at him. And yet Sneako is over here calling him a sellout, saying that he's not going to post a podcast because he wanted to be the hero and he couldn't trap Sneako. And you shouldn't believe these lies that Jynxi is putting out there. Jynxi hasn't posted about this. Want to find Jynxi's Twitter? He said nothing. There's been no post since his last podcast. He doesn't talk on Twitter. He might not even know that Twitter beef is going on. It's actually so messed up. It's just a one-sided battle. And Sneako is just fighting against himself at this point. There's no reason to go after Jynxi, bro. And you're going to lose is the thing. Because he's just spreading hate. And Jynxi has the biggest streaming audience that you can have right now. If I go and ask somebody that I work with who Sneako is, they'd never know. But if I ask them who Jynxi is, they know immediately, and then they tell me good aim. I'm not making this stuff up either. It's ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous. And I just want the hate to stop, bro. Literally just stop the hate, Sneako. You have certain points in your arsenal that are so valid. And if you stopped hating people and just took a second to take in everything you're saying and instead spread your message with love and kindness and not just pure brute force, you might actually get across to people. With that being said, go ahead and drop a dislike on this video. Go ahead and comment, and I will see you B-dubs later.